You are listening to the podcast That's Life in Sweden, or as we say in Swedish, Sånt är livet i Sverige, with me, your host, Lisa Åsimäki. So today I welcome a colleague from the University of Gothenburg. His name is Claes Martinson, and he's a professor in private law, excellent teacher, holder of the Torsten Pettersson chair in Maritime and Transport Law. So welcome to the podcast, Claes. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. It's a beautiful day. Sunshine in the mid of May.
Okay. So can you share and talk about who is Claes Martinson, and particularly what led you to an interest in your specific area of law and how long you worked at the University of Gothenburg?
Yes, well, I'm a university teacher and researcher. That's how I present myself usually. Maybe I could also add that I have been for a long time the inspector of the student union of our student faculty, and also the inspector of the law student union earlier. So I have taken some interest in the student life, so to speak. I am also a person who have been for 20 years to Salzburg every summer to teach students in all European setting, and that has been very interesting because also teachers from all these places show up. And by the way, I've been at the university for 35 years now, so I'm quite old. Also I might add, you will not find information about me on social media because I'm not participating in that.
Okay, and so now, you were one of the first recipients of the excellent teacher title at the university. Do you recall why you decided to apply for the title?
I realized I had a chance to be the first from my faculty to get that title, and it triggered somehow. I thought about that rather than of why, but when I saw what it was all about, I really liked the idea of trying to reflect upon what I have been doing for all these years and to put it all together in a portfolio. And that connects to a tool that I often use in my teaching. I ask the students to reflect upon what they do before I assess them. So I often use portfolios during the courses or at the end of the courses.
Today, you teach and research in law at the School of Business, Economics and Law. So can you tell or talk about how the student population you teach has changed since you began working at the university?
It's hard to generalize because there are always a group of students in every end of the scale, so to speak. But if I would point at something, it would be that the students, the law students and business students, economic students at the time I started, they were less strategic and more focused on one thing at a time. Now the students in general seems to try to do everything at the same time. They study, they work, not somewhere else that has no connection to their studies, but they work with law or business, having in mind that this will lead to something. And they, at the same time, they also work with pro bono projects. They are involved in a lot of interest groups. They are building a curriculum already from the beginning, and I'm not sure this is good. For some, it probably is, but it seems they are occupied with so many things that they have a hard time to study. Yes, and also a difference is that the students back then, they were a little bit older, and that has to do with the fact that the military service was almost obligatory for all men, and a lot of women also took a year off in between. So in general, a little bit older than now. Mm-hmm. Which I think when it comes to law is really good, because you have to have an understanding of the society that you have built on your own, so to speak.
So how old were they when you think back? Were they 21 or 22?
No, rather 22, 23. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that also when it comes to law, we have now 80% women and 20% men, and back then we have 50% women and 50% men. So that has been I really think this is a problem that needs to be dealt with for the best of the education as such, because the dialogues in the teaching situation becomes a little bit different. And also, of course, we need lawyers of both sexes on all the positions we have in society. So we need to do something about that.
All right. So do you have any solutions?
Oh, that's a hard thing to solve, so to speak. But I think we need to rearrange what the schools do. It seems like it's easier for girls, and it's easier for girls to do what they demand in schools. And when it comes to sports, they often use other way of sorting those who participate. Than age, and maybe we should think of that also when it comes to schools, not to put everyone in the same age group in the same class. That might be an idea.
So what about your thoughts about artificial intelligence, or AI? Do you think technology pose a threat to university teaching? And I'm of course thinking about a lot of our students, the quick fix of ChatGPT. What do you think?
Yes, I think that AI is a very nice thing. It's a nice tool. I use it. But when it comes to the educational aspect of it and the university setting, I think it might be for some teachers considered to be a threat to teaching. But I'm rather sure it will not be a threat to university learning. So the idea of student-centered learning is something that has been a big change, I think. Not an immediate change, but during the years, I've seen more and more teachers accept this conception that the students should be in the center, and it's not about the teacher being in the center, going down to the classroom and give a lecture, then leave. It's about structuring different ideas and resources to help the students develop themselves. And there, I think AI will be of a lot of value, actually. It will help them a lot. But we need to try things out, and we need to be careful to avoid situations where students are tempted to cheat, of course. That's the more concrete problem at the moment. But I do not fear AI in this sense.
Do you think, because when you just mentioned that you don't fear AI, well, you have a lot of teachers who don't know how to manage AI. What do you think? Do you think that one of the reasons that perhaps teachers have a bit of an issue relate to their lack of knowledge in the area they're teaching, or has it got to do with actually understanding how to guide students when it comes to artificial intelligence?
Yes, it's probably maybe. I don't think it's justified to only use the word comfortable, but if you have been teaching for a while, or at least a few years, you have getting used to performing in a certain way. And if you have put yourself then on a level where you tell the students what you know, and then comes AI that can do that even better than you can. It's demanding, of course, to put yourself in a position where you have to develop yourself, and also to rearrange your efforts so that you will help the students to develop. It's another kind of working effort that we are not used to, and some teachers are farther from this than others, of course. Well, I think we could actually look back a couple of hundred years. It may sound strange, but looking at the situation we had back then, when the students came to the university and the teachers were there to help each and every one of them to develop, the numbers were, of course, quite different than they are now. So there was room for a teacher to help a group of students or different individuals in the student group to develop. A teacher would know his or her students in another way. And I think we need to get back to that. And I think AI will be a tool for us to be able to do it.
I think AI is great, and I entirely agree with you. I think the challenge, if you like, there is a challenge, which is that we need to continuously up our game. We need to be continuously with the time so that we are strong in the subject matter, if you like. But then it's, of course, the pedagogical perspective that you're referring, what I'm hearing you referring to. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree. It's definitely.
Okay, so to another, I know that there's so many important subjects to discuss, but I'm really curious because you talk about, the universities used to be this way. But from your perspective, what is the purpose of the university today?
I can put that in a sentence. The purpose of the university is to produce and distribute knowledge for the best of mankind. And this is the way I think. This is the way I think as a researcher and as a teacher, and the way I interpret the society. So for me, this is a very important question.
Now, considering the changes in our society and our world, so do you think the university as an institution is actually keeping up with the purpose of the university, or have we lost, or the university lost its way?
All in all, I think the university is keeping up, or the universities. But at the same time, I think that there are many who does not understand the purpose of the universities. And why is that? Well, they haven't asked themselves what is the purpose of the university, and understood the function of the university for the society. As a producer of knowledge, that makes you a very powerful. It gives the university the potential of being a very powerful institution. And I think that different powers that we have in society often, without intention, try to limit the universities because it's challenging to have such a power in society. We could compare to religious institutions earlier in history. And there are many similarities, of course, with the university and religious institutions. And that could be a way of understanding why there is this friction somehow, although all of society gains from having universities and letting the universities be these producers of knowledge.
Do you think we are run by business or industry, that the university sector is more and more about it's not the knowledge that is at its core, it's rather what is happening in the world, and particularly in the world of business, that they have the power to decide what needs to be taught at university?
No, I am at the business school, as you mentioned, and so I think I would be in a good position to see this, but I don't see that part as the problem. I see the part where the state has put some money aside and putting it into different trusts, like Vetenskapsrådet and others, who distribute the money for research in a different way than it was distributed when I began at the university. I think the old model was better. I see definitely advantages with the system we have, but I think that influence makes it worse than the money we get from the business side.
Okay. I do recall having a conversation with another professor from Örebro University, and she was talking about that the university and what she found problem with the university was that students couldn't really come up with their own topic. It was very much based on whether you were part of a research group. So a lot of the creativity that actually, I suppose, further knowledge is kind of being put a bit of a lock on, that these are the areas that we are focusing on, and if you want to do a PhD, one of these areas is what we want you to work on. Do you think we've come to that?
No. The system to become a doctoral student at our department is to hand in a suggestion for a project that you want to do research in, and we are not allowed, or we are recommended not to speak to the applicants beforehand, so that they individually will come up with an idea. So it's not true for us. We do have, of course, some doctoral students that are financed with external funding, and they also come with projects, and those projects might be influenced by the donor, but regularly they are not very specific when it comes to the inputs that they get from the donors. So I don't see that as a big problem. As for myself, as a professor, I get funding from different donors, and it's for me it's more of an inspiration, and I can still pick whatever I want to do of all the possibilities that are there. So I don't see this as a problem, but I think we should, of course, be aware of it, and I think it might be different for different researchers, and especially in different areas. But when it comes to legal research, it's not a problem yet.
Yet, you said the magic word yet.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about what is happening in the US.
Yes, that's awful.
That is absolutely awful, and of course they wanting to tell, I don't know, was it the Swedish embassy in Stockholm about that, not to, is it teach or it's not a good idea to have diversity and all kinds of rubbish. And I think a lot of times that, we have been looking at the US because they have some amazing researchers, amazing universities. And I think to myself, I don't know, but would that be a threat to Sweden, what they're doing in the US?
Yes, it would.
In what? And how?
The US is influential. So far, when it comes to the political situation, we have seen resistance and opposition from different nations and from universities all over. I know my own faculty is resisting, taking actively measures against those kinds of ideas. So it will be hard for harder than you think, at least, for the U.S. President and all those around him to do what they seems to be intending to do. But it might be a problem in the sense that they are so many, they are influential in different ways, and it spills over. The rhetorics and such spills over to the Swedish side, and we need to be aware of that and think of it every day, actually.
So in what ways do you think then, from your perspective as a law professor, there is a need to perhaps rethink or reimagine and take advantage, it's an opportunity to support the role and purpose of the university? In some ways, I feel like in this dark cloud that is coming from the current U.S. administration, there are also the opportunity, exactly what you're saying, to resist.
Yeah. Yes. And in Sweden, the institutional situation is such that we say that the universities are governmental authorities, and that's a big mistake. It's not good at all for the situation we have now. It hasn't been a good conception for all these years that we have had this idea. We see, and I have said this many times, so many times that my colleagues are tired of me saying it. We are not a governmental authority, we are a university. And it's very important to remember this. So the argument, but we are actually a governmental authority, therefore we have to do this and that. No. We might have to do that you say, but we have to do it because we are a university. And there is a very important difference there. As a lawyer, I know it was a haphazard thing that the universities became governmental authorities. It had to do with a lazy lawmaker, you could say, who at a very late stage at the legislating process understood, well, okay, now we have made this legislation that will work for it's förvaltningslagen that I'm speaking of. It will work for all governmental authorities, but the universities, we forgot them. What should we do with them? Let them be included, because there are just a few things here that will affect them. But it has become the opposite. So because we were drawn into that legislation, the mindsets of the administrators especially, but also also professors and teachers, has become that we are a governmental authority. And it's not good at all for what we do, because if the purpose is to produce knowledge for the best of mankind, the format, the organizational aspects of this should not be a governmental authority. It limits what we do, and it's just an awful conception. It's a burden on the university. And it's often used in a way where managers at university can't really manage the situation. So they point at legislation and say, we must do this. It's not we must do this because of the legislation. And that's really a bad argument. If you are the boss, if you have that role, you have to be able to say, well, I want it to be like this, and I have very good causes and reasons for it to be like this. There are also other good reasons, of course, but this is the way I see it, not because it is the law or the legislation, since this legislation should never apply to the universities. Universities should be universities. Independent, not necessarily independent in a financial way, not in a way that universities are viewed as or seen as private bodies. We can be a part of the state, but as universities, as something that is special, because we have a special role.
Very, very important to further discuss the role of the university, particularly during these times. And you mentioned the Vetenskapsrådet, where you get funding from, and they seem to have quite a bit of a hold on the university, it seems. And our politicians, I'm just amazed that there's so many. Everybody wants to get involved with what the university should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. So it's refreshing to hear that there is actually the real purpose of university that needs to be talked about, and even looking back and think about those things that really built knowledge or forwarded knowledge. And for some reason we seem to fill our courses with lots of students, no longer because we want for them to learn, but rather that, this is a way to make sure that we are paying for the courses.
Yes. That's also changed from when I began. We laughed at the Danes because they had put up a system where they would be paid from how many students they gave a grade. And we laughed at that, and it only took 2 years, and we had the same system in yes.
I'm battling with that every semester in courses. So I think that is a horrible burden to have, because I am not interested in how much money is coming in. I'm only interested in the student learning, as you are.
Yes. I should say that there are some effects of this that if we would change the system, we would need to consider those effects. And we had a famous teacher at the department who failed 75% of the students on the first term. It was considered by then a good lesson for all students to learn. But maybe it was not the best way of introducing students to law studies. It became too tough on some of them, and I still think he was and is the greatest teacher, really. But we need to discuss things like that, and how to have incentives to have as many students as possible to get through the courses, in the sense that they actually reach the learning outcomes that we want them to reach, so that it doesn't become you could say a sport of failing students. I never seen that it has become, but you understand from the example. Yes. what I try to say here.
But I also think that there are a lot of students who we are passing that is not doing them a favor.
Yes, being in mainly being a teacher at programs such as the law program and the business program, it's an issue that we think of and discuss a lot, and often in the terms, can we allow this person, this student, to become something, having a role in society, for example, a judge, if this person does not seem to have the knowledge that person needs. And from at the law department, this is an important issue. We can't let a student out with the capability or lack of understanding of law, because this can lead to irreparable damage for people. And sometimes we joke and say it's better that we are very tough at the law program compared to what they are at the medical program, because if a medical student gets past the education and gets his or her exam, it at least is so that the body, a person, usually heals by his or herself, while when it comes to taking a kid away from your custody, for example, that will destroy the rest of your life. So
yes, it's more serious consequences for the person. I love that example about the body heals itself. Well, not always, but yeah, most of the time. Most of the time. And there are a lot of brilliant instruments that are helping medical doctors with specific, very fine surgery moments. They don't have to use their hands. They have now robots doing some of that work. So tell me, now you are involved in several research areas. Is there a research project that you believe is of special importance, and why?
One way of answering such a question would be to say my latest project, but that's of course not true, because it varies what you do. I have such thoughts, special importance, something that really will make a difference concerning the projects I do now on climate from a financial and a property law aspect. So it's a matter of what can a property lawyer and a finance lawyer, as I am, bring to the climate situation. But I'm not sure that will make such a difference. Somehow I in a sense I feel like I hope it doesn't, because I hope there are better ideas than those I have. So another reply to this is that I think the special importance that I might have is the contribution that I'm making to the change, the transition that the legal research is going through. Because we have situation and have had a situation for 150 years. That is the time legal research has been in the shape we see it now. And I am working on a project with the working title, Only One Method and No Results. And that's a criticism of legal research. So what I want to contribute is for us to understand that there are many methods, and we need to develop the methods, and we need to make results, not only what we do now. So there I hope to make a little bit of a difference.
Now, you've written something about, it's about theory and practice, and exactly, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like, when we have only one method, we think we have only one way, and that is the only way we do things. And by you criticizing it, you are talking about that there are different methods, and any result is going to be a positive outcome. That's what we're looking for. So it doesn't always have to be this one way. Is that how I'm hearing? what you say.
Yes, it's correct. Someone said, now I forgot the name, unfortunately, but that there is nothing so practical useful as a good theory. And using theory to understand what you're looking at, have an analytical tool to understand that can make also an immense difference for the practical situation. And in that segment, it's usually when the practitioners in law call me and ask, could you add something here? And I'm very happy to do it because it's so interesting to get an insight to the problems they stand before. When it comes to law, legal research has very much been on this is the problem. 2 parties or 3 parties or more have a conflict. Let's solve it with these tools. So it's looking back a lot, not being very constructive. And I like the constructive part of law. That's also the reason I think, at least, that I picked the area of finance, property, and bankruptcy and such, because the knowledge you can make in that area, the tools you need to develop, they are all about being constructive. Nothing is settled once and for all in that area. Everything moves all the time. So it's a very exciting part of the law. I could say so many things from what you commented there, but I'll stop there, I guess.
I think one of the best thing about good teachers is to explain it clearly. And while I understand it, I know there are people out there who would say, what does he mean about that? But if you were to give, if someone is talking about what is the importance of theory, what advice would you give them?
That's a hard question. The advice I give to my master students is to be aware of this. And I have this concept that used to be a course, theoretical business law, which usually is a contradiction in terms for many people. But it's just about this, that okay, we have this problem. It seems to be an ordinary legal problem. But what about if we use theory to go through it and see what we can do, not only for the situation as such, but also to avoid the problems in the future. And these parts are often very appreciated because the students understand that theories are important if you connect them to practical, concrete situations. If you just talk about theory on an abstract level, then it's very interesting for some, but rather boring for some others. But if you combine the two, it's always, I would say, interesting for everyone.
Yes, I entirely agree with you. I'm actually was just thinking about when you were saying about theory, and I have students. I'm actually going to be teaching about what is a good research question. And so I come from the perspective that the more you read and know about your topic, and I'm not talking only about superficial level, the better questions you will come up with.
Yeah, of course.
Because you are reading, and so I think there's a bit of a confusion about, well, what is theory? What is a good question? What is a good methodology? I mean, goodness me, I don't know, I'm sure you have. Oh, this is an interview study. This is a qualitative interview study. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so then you realize, okay, we got to do some more work.
Yeah. I have a funny story there. It's a Danish law professor. Now he's my age, so but it was a few years ago when he had his thesis, an excellent thesis, and he wrote, "I will not tell you what method I used. You will know it when you see it."
Yes. And I'm thinking about my son when I got my PhD, and he's been reading, of course, all Harry Potter books and, all the videos. And he had one look at my thesis. He read the first, I think, couple of sentences, and he looks at me, "Mom, this is not a bestseller." This will never be a bestseller.
No, well,
give it up.
He was probably right, I guess.
Absolutely, he was right. Absolutely. And then, of course, when I received the certificate that you got your PhD, and the congratulations, and he was just looking at me, "Mom, you wasted 4 years of your life."
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yes. So sometimes when I have students in front of me and I get questions, and I'm thinking of my son, because they're so busy to get into the real life and particularly in topics they're interested in. And so this comes back to then, well, how would you invite or try to attract law students to really get inspired to take up law? Because I think it's exactly what you said before. It's an evolving area.
Yes. It's not something that I have thought much about, because we are the most sought after program in Sweden. The 5 first positions with counting the applications are in law. So it's the different law faculties at place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But why would I tell a young person law is interesting? Because it concerns every area of society. Every part of society has a legal side to it, and it's, if you like Harry Potter, it's us. The books are about us.
Yes.
As lawyers, because we are the magicians, we are the sorcerers. We can do things by constructing norms. You could also use the word manipulating people through legal arguments, and have things happening that you didn't think was possible. So if I would use the dramatic way of attracting students, I would use Harry Potter, yes.
Brilliant. I mean, that was a brilliant example of why anyone should be interested in law. And of course, they need to be curious to want to study, because I'm sure there's a lot involved in studying law.
The main skill that you need to study law is endurance.
Okay.
Yes, so you have to be able to put a lot of time into it, and a lot of interest into it, and that's more important than being very clever or whatever. So because you will develop the knowledge while you go.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because you're reading and you are thinking, yes. You are reflecting, and I'm sure, and that's where it comes back to, well, if you can also discuss it with your professor or your lecturer, even those ideas that are very much from far left, you will automatically start thinking in a deeper way, I guess. I'm trying to find the right word, even if I speak English. But it's absolutely, I'm just absolutely with you. Now, coming to the end of the program, and there is so much I would love to keep asking you, but is there anything that you want to add or share that you think is important, of special importance, that we haven't even brought up?
To my law students and to all other students, and actually to teachers and everyone in society, one advice is always think for yourselves. And this is a thing that I've been saying for 15 years now during the last course of the law program when the students are writing their master theses, because there are so many still on the 9th semester of the program. They try to follow a template, trying to look at what others have done when it comes to structure and such things. What should be in the thesis? And it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of thinking for yourselves. And this is actually something that I can, as a lawyer, point at when it comes to legislation. Because that may be the best thing that the legislator ever wrote in a legislation is that what the learning outcome of the law program and also other programs are to be able to understand what you do not know and what you need to know to develop and what you need to know to develop others. If you are able to do that, then you have become what we like to achieve with a university higher education. You have become someone who can contribute, not just doing what others already have done. So think for yourself. That is what I like to add.
Okay. Thank you, Claes, so much for your generosity, sharing your valuable thoughts about your work. And I hope to invite you back maybe at a later date to continue our discussion. Thank you so much and have a wonderful summer 2025.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
And you have been listening to the podcast Sånt är livet i Sverige, or in English, That's Life here in Sweden, with me, Lisa Åsimäki. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.